Join us in the quiet drift of deep space, where the stars shine bright and the only sound is the hum of the engines. Tonight, we follow Barney, a humble custodian of the cosmos, who discovers that even in a graveyard of ships, new friendship and the perfect espresso can be found in the most unlikely places. Now, find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and let yourself unwind.
I was hugging a toilet in the dark, and the toilet was winning. It was a big, ugly, Imperial-grade gravity assist unit, the kind they bolted into officer quarters on dreadnoughts. It looked like a metal tuba that got ideas above its station. Its lid flapped in the vacuum. Every time I thought I'd got a grip, a rogue ridge caught my glove and wedged me sideways. I had a keen sense radiating up through the tether at my waist that the Dustpan was watching, amused. The Dustpan was my ship. She wasn't pretty. People with money called ships like hers sanitation scows. People without money called them home. Her hull was a patchwork, her paint a suggestion. Right now, she floated just off my right shoulder, a brownish lump against the glittering madness of Vexia Prime's orbit. My tether snaked back into her belly. It ticked in my ear every 5 seconds to remind it existed. Tess thought this was good safety practice. "Barney," Tess said. Her voice was filtered through the radio, crisp and clean. "Your heart rate is 123. You want a break?" "I don't want a break," I said. I adjusted my clamp. The toilet drifted, resisting. 3 weeks since the war ended, and here I was, wrestling a throne. "I don't have hands," Tess said. "If you reorient 2 degrees and harpoon the underside of the waste valve, you'll get 30% less slippage." There was a special kind of patience that came from being out here. Me, the tether, the dustpan. Vexia Prime hung below, green-blue and hazy, streaked in white cloud bands. All around lay the graveyard, smashed star destroyers the size of cities, fighters chopped in half, drifting with their guts curl out. Casings flapped from blown bulkhead wounds. It was a field of shadows and glints. You learned to read it. You learned which edges were knives and which edges just looked that way. I breathed slow in, slow out. I nudged my boots, magnets off, thrusters lazy, and rolled until the toilet's insistence became leverage. Then I squeezed the harpoon's trigger. It spat a coughing thunk. The tether shot out and the barbed tip clanked onto the valve Tess mentioned. The toilet jerked towards me as the line tightened. "There," I said. My breath fogged for a second inside my faceplate, where the heater film was a strip too thin. No one ever budgeted to fix the heater film. "Happy?" "Ecstatic," Tess said. "You are 61 seconds from completing a capture. This will put you at the top of the leaderboard for the 1,300-hour block." I bit down on a groan. "You gamified toilets?" "I gamify everything," she said. "Cleaning can be fun." I grunt. I didn't dignify that with a word. Metal sang. Tethers hummed. I heard my own breaths inside the helmet. I heard the dustpan's nelly, far away, chewing metal into the sizes we get paid for. I heard my own knees complaining. And I heard the occasional ping when a microshard tried to get friendly with my personal space. Tess kept tabs on those. She sent out a red dot where she knew one will be, and I adjusted my angle automatically. My glove kissed the hull of the toilet. I hated its smoothness. I snapped the second line on, and the toilet settled into the net. Behind me, the dustpan yawned open a little more. One of her manipulator arms extended. The pincers snagged the net, and the toilet slid inside. Tess played a trumpet flourish. "Ka-cha!" "Stop that. It's celebratory." "I hate it," I said, though I smiled. The people who pick up after wars do not have songs. We have checklists. We have schedules. We have hazard flags. I had Tess. "Barney," she said, "hydration?" "I'm good," I said. "Your caloric burn is high," she said. "At this rate, you'll close your active maintenance loop before we even get to Section G." "Lovely," I said. "We have Honey Nut Crunch?" "I'm fine," I told her. "What's the leader score?" I asked despite myself. It was a spur. You needed spurs when you worked out here on the graveyard of Vexia Prime. "You are the leader," Tess said. "You've been the leader for 34 minutes. "I could drift into the radiation shadows right now," I said. "I could turn thy radio off." "Please don't," she said. "Not in the mood," I said. "All right, what's next? I assume we still have 600 pieces tagged as moderate hazard because someone painted their missiles with a reflective coating?" 218 moderate hazards, she corrected. "But first, we have a funeral." I stopped. I turned my head. The field was slow around us.
The distant bones of the dreadnought, regal intention, floated past. Vexia Prime glittered beyond. Tess pinged a gentle blue. "There," she said. 2 meters away, a shape spun through the light. It was a hand. Gray with vacuum freeze, the fabric of the glove torn at the wrist. We weren't a full-time mortuary, but we had a ritual. Tess played a low tone, and I reached out and put one finger against the knuckles. I pushed, and the hand spun. It caught the light, then tumbled slowly toward the blinking beacon we set to mark the path for the name sweep. "All right," I said. "Thank you, Barney," Tess said. We nudged toward Section D. Tess had the regions broken up my coordinates, though I had my own names for them. We approached a cluster of things that shouldn't have been in orbit. A toothbrush doing somersaults, someone's lunchbox, a framed certificate. I thought about taking it. I didn't. Trophies made you think a thing was over. It never was. "There's a cluster of toilets," Tess said, "just ahead. 6 intact, 9 in pieces."
They were anchored to a deck plate, tethered to each other by lengths of flex hose. The mass swung slowly. I checked my suit feed. Oxygen good. Heater film still struggling. My wrists itched where the bands rubbed. I raised my harpoon. Then something else caught my eye. Not a glint, something running the other way. My HUD licked a thin red line where a microfilament tangled through the cluster. I touched my thrusters. My tether purred as it paid out. I clipped the filament, and the mass released. Bits wobbled. I got 2 into a net. The third one was where I should have stopped. It was always the third one. "Barney," Tess said, "heart rate at, don't say it, 128. "I'll take a coffee when we hit Section G," I said. I snagged the toilets. Net, clamp. The third toilet yielded. One went free and I lunged, twisting my shoulder. "Barney," Tess said, "you tightened your right trapezius." "I know," I said. We finished the toilets. They went down the dustpan's mouth. The hiss of the intake fans was a lullaby. Tess tabulated. 2 more in this cluster, she said. One looks like a piece of battery casing. The other, It was a vacuum-sealed pouch. It said, "Very hot sauce" on the side in marker. I grabbed it. The inside sloshed. "Log it as recovered," I said. "We'll ship it to the sweep station." I snagged the battery casing. It clicked. I winced. It wasn't live. Inside, ribbons of copper coiled. I took the copper into the side crate. "Route to Section G uploaded," Tess said. We drifted through the skeleton of the Regal Intentions engine pylons, moving slow. "Barney," Tess said after a minute, "what do you think of the word dingle knife?" "We are not using that word," I said. "It sounds like a toddler invented it." "It refers to a small knife used for—" "No," I said. "Call it a cutter." We skimmed into Section G. Tess's blue pings danced. 2 dangerous, 3 mildly annoying, and a cluster of unknowns. "Unknowns like what?" "I do not know," she said. The field here swept back on itself. Micro-solder speckles drifted in a wind that didn't exist. My suit warned me of electrical charges. "Slow," Tess said. I kept my boot off anything that would bounce. The first dangerous object was a pressure bottle with a hole in it. I bagged it. The second was a laser coupling. I clipped it. We drifted around the bent lip of a whole section, and there they were. 6 shapes turning slowly. They weren't Imperial. They weren't Liberation Fleet. They were polished. Perfectly polished. Pristine. "Do you see that?" I asked. "Yes," Tess said. Her voice sounded thin. "Barney, those are—" "Don't say it," I said. If she named it, we had to log it immediately. They were pods arranged in a hexagon around a central object. The middle was a glint, a line of stars caught in a drop. I had never seen anything so untouched in the graveyard. What am I looking at? "Your caloric burn is irrelevant," Tess said softly. The central object was black. It curved. It looked sharp enough to cut shadows. "Tag," I said. "Anomaly," Tess repeated. "Barney, please be mindful." I started toward the black thing. The path in was rude. A square of mirror-bright plating spun slowly. A coil of wire, monofilament, had bitten itself into a snarl. I eased between 2 ribs of hull. The black thing sat in the nest of ugliness. It was a torpedo. No scratches, no dings. "Tess," I said, "tell me a story." "This is an excellent time to back away and call ordnance," she said. "They give me lectures," I said. "They take my salvage points." "I have a protocol," she said. The black torpedo wasn't alone. The 6 pods around it tipped like geese. The torpedo had no scratches because the pods had been shielding it. I reached out. At the last minute, I pulled the wrench from my loop. I tapped it against the hull of the torpedo. Tick.
The 6 pods cracked open. They unfurled petals and began to hum. My HUD flickered as 6 little EM fields flared. A thin, bloodless light washed across the torpedo's skin. "Ah," I said. "Barney?" Tess whispered. "Step away." "Hey there," I said, to the thing. A voice arrived. It wasn't in my ear. It vibrated the metal, vibrating the air molecules that didn't exist. "Unit? Niner, online." I stopped moving. "Self. Doomsday-class Intelligent Torpedo Asset Series Omega. Unit designation 99. The black length shifted minutely. "Hello?" the voice said. It sounded concerned. "Identify launching platform." "Identify." "Hello, Unit 99. Name's Barney." "Barney, confirm rank." "Sanitation," I said. "Civilian. Captain of the Dustpan." "Sanitation," it repeated. "Your authorization level is insufficient. Please pass this unit to a ranking officer." "The war's over," I said. "Does not compute," it said. "Do you mean war is won?" "I mean it's ended 3 weeks ago. You missed it." "Missed it," the bomb said. There was a register of surprise. "Impossible. Unit 99 was in lock stasis awaiting target assignment." "Unit 99 awaits a target," it continued. "You will now point this unit at a high-value hostile asset." "Can't," I said. "There aren't any hostiles. There's me and my ship and a lot of trash." "Collating," it said sharply. "Fuel, 0%. Narrative unresolved. Unit 99 was promised exothermal bloom." "I understand the feeling," I said. "I will now require you," the torpedo said, "to point me. Orient me toward a hostile target or a hostile symbolic asset. I will then require a push." "You want me to push me?" "Yes, a firm push. I will handle the rest." "There is a war," the torpedo said sternly, "and you will act like it." "There was a war," I said, "and I'm not going to help you explode anything." "I'm going to scream," the torpedo said. I blinked. "You're going to what?"
I am going to execute the vocalization protocol designed to bring attention to the presence of an intelligent ordnance asset. The manual calls it screaming. "No, thank you," Tess said. "We have enough attention." I inched closer. "Unit 99, I said. "What do you prefer to be called?" "Niner. "Any friendlier aliases?" Tess asked. There was a pause. "Yes, in informal contexts, Gary." I bit down on my lip. "Gary. All right." "Hello," the bomb said. "I am Gary. Please orient me toward an enemy." "Gary, buddy, the war is over. There is no enemy." "Does not desire," Gary said. "I was made for this. Do not deny me my purpose." "I was made to clean up after you types," I said. "Here's what I propose. I am going to attach straps to you. Then I am going to tow you to my ship. We will put you in a containment bay. Then we will talk." "About targets?" Gary asked. "About recycling," I said. "Red cycle." "I was not made to be a spoon," he said, horrified. "I was made to be a headline." "Gary, hard truth. You have no fuel. You can't go to a target. If you come with me, we will dignify you." "I can self-detonate," Gary said, out of spite. I went cold. "That would be a waste," Tess said. "Spite is in the optional behaviors," Gary said, "but it would be unsatisfying. No target. It would be like exploding into a napkin." "All right," I said. "First we need you not to scream. If you scream, the men with the long caution poles will come, and they will put you in a very cold, boring room. I do not require humor. I require you to think you will get some," I said. I took a slow breath. "We have to move through some rubble." "Careful," Tess whispered. "I'm widening the dustpan's forward lock." "I have a question," Gary said. "Have we won? You said the war is over. That implies—" "We didn't die," I said. "Statistically unsatisfying," Gary said. I angled the end of the strap and slid it under the curve of his body. "First strap," I said. "Your hands are shaking," Tess said. "My hands are steady," I said. "Attach strap to port side," Gary said. "Not that port. The other— No, do not tickle my alignment sensors." "Tickling is disallowed," I said. "Third strap," I said. "We're going to move," I told him, slow. "You will not drop me," Gary said. "If I drop you, I will be famous," I said. The tether was tight. I flicked a thruster. We moved. The first test was the microfilament spool. It was unraveling in a slow, sulky way. I angled Gary's nose with a strap tug. He beeped in protest. I ignored it.
The filament flicked a hair from his side. Monofilament, Tess said. Barney, I see it, I said. We cleared it. Next, the knife hedge of jagged panel edges. It was a porcupine of metal. Quick snips, Tess offered. Quick snips, I agreed. I pulled my cutter. Gary, hold still. I am a professional, Gary said.
I slipped the blade between two snarled edges. Nick, faint. The pieces drifted apart. We slid through. Hey, I said, what was your last memory before I tapped you? Factory hum, Gary said. Warm hands. The mantra, you will go far. You will make a difference. Barney, Tess said softly, we are at 30 meters. The dustpan's lock yawned. Past the mouth, the containment bay waited. Pale green foam blocks bulged out. A Faraday mesh was raised. Gary, I said, welcome to my home. I cannot make sudden movements, Gary said. I lack fuel. We cleared the lock. The door ground down. The bay pressurized. I guided Gary into the foam cradle. He looked offended. This is undignified, he said. It's a spa, I said. Tess started a low hum, a database file meant to soothe electronics. Sanitation, Captain Barney, Gary said. There is a jam in your hatch right track. Also, your heart rate is elevated. Are you watching my metrics? I collect data, Gary said. You're nosy, I said. I lowered myself onto the bay floor. My hands shook. I looked at the bomb in his foam. Okay, I said. We can't just put you on the curb. We need to talk to Ordnance Recovery. I hate paperwork, Gary said. I would like to explode in a meaningful way, he added. Sometimes meaning is smaller than anyone told you, I said. Barney, Tess said, we have a problem. The Ordnance Office pinged back. They want to know the status of the asset. Tell them we're assessing. They specifically asked if we had disassembled the device. Tell them no. They also said, Tess continued, that per protocol, any Class 9 asset recovered by civilian personnel must be surrendered immediately to the nearest authorized depository. I am not a parcel, Gary said. I am a spear. We're not surrendering you to a depository, I said. Those places are pits. I have a better idea, Tess said. We reclassify Gary as hazardous sanitation bulk, Form S19D. I am not bulk, Gary said. It buys us time, I said. Tess, print the form. We cycled the lock. Gary stayed in the foam. Okay, I said. We're reclassifying just for the paperwork. I consent, Gary said, but I will remember. Tess printed the decal on the outer paneling. Hazardous sanitation bulk transfer. Barney, Tess said, Ordnance isn't buying it. They have a scanner lock on the signature. They know he's a torpedo. They are sending an automated retrieval drone, ETA 10 minutes. I will not be retrieved by a drone, Gary said. That is insulting. We need to hide him, I said. Deep storage? Too much radiation, Tess said. There was a silence. The ship hummed. Gary ticked. I have an idea, I said. Tess, where do we keep the compressed trash? Aft lock, she said. Gary, I said, we're moving you to the aft lock. Why? He asked. Because the drone won't look in the trash output. I hate this. We moved fast. I towed him through the ship corridors, barking my shins on bulkheads. We shoved him into the aft lock. It was tight. There were 3 cubes of compressed waste stacked there. This smells, Gary said. It's the smell of safety, I said. I am adjacent to banana peels, he said. They're harmless, I said. Drone on approach, Tess said. 2 minutes. I sealed the inner door. I stood in the lock with Gary in the trash. Gary, I said, you need to drop your energy signature. Go cold. If I go cold, I cannot aim. You don't need to aim. You need to hide. I refuse, he said. I am armed. The red stroop on the wall glared. The number in the air, the one you couldn't see but could feel, started to tick. 60 seconds, Gary said. No numbers, Tess said. I am disrespected, Gary said. I am a weapon of terrible beauty and I am next to refuse. I will self-detonate. Gary, I said, look at me. You don't want to do this. 54, he said. My heart hammered against my ribs. I grabbed the nearest trash cube and shoved it into the corner to clear space. It squelched. Do not shake, Gary read from the label. Why does it say do not shake? Just focus, I said. You think war is glory?
War is scraping someone's favorite mug out of a bulkhead. War is overtime. War is me, tired, in a lock with a bomb. Don't make me work overtime today, Gary. 47, he said, but he hesitated. Ordnance drone scanning, Tess said. Hold breath. You wanted glory, I said. You want a legacy? Be the bomb that didn't kill the janitor. 39, he whispered, but the heat coming off him was rising. His logic core was overworking, trapped between pride and the fact that he was currently a roommate to garbage. He's getting hot, I said. Tess, he's overheating. Logic core thermal throttle, Tess said. If he gets too hot, he has to dump the heat or shut down. Shut down, I said. We need him to shut down. Or dump the heat, Tess said. If he dumps the heat rapidly, the drone will see the flare. We need a heat sink, I said. I looked around the lock. Metal, cold, trash. The kitchen, I said. The espresso machine, it has a massive boiler. It's right through that service hatch. You want to plumb a bomb into the coffee maker? Tess said. I want to use the boiler as a radiator, I said. Gary, I need you to think really hard. Think about targets. Think about trajectories. Generate heat. Thinking, Gary said, confused but intrigued. 35. I scrambled for the service hatch. I popped it. The back of the espresso machine was there. Pipes exposed. I grabbed the copper ribbon I'd salvaged earlier from my side pocket. I need you to hold still, I told Gary. I wrapped the copper around Gary's cooling fins. I wound it tight, scorching my gloves. I ran the other end to the boiler's intake pipe. I clamped it with a spare hose clip from my belt.
Transferring heat, I said. Tess, turn on the pump. Turning on, she said. The machine gurgled. The copper ribbon turned angry orange. The heat from Gary's casing bled into the copper, traveled the line, and hit the water in the boiler. 32, Gary said. His voice wavered. I feel dizzy. The espresso machine hissed. Steam vented into the galley. The drone scan swept over the ship. Heat bloom detected, Tess said, but it registers as kitchen appliance malfunction. Yes, I breathed. Drone moving on, Tess said. They think we burnt toast. Gary made a sound like a hard drive spinning down. I am very warm. You're a hearth, Gary, I said. You're warming the ship. A hearth, he repeated. The red light on his casing blinked and turned to amber. The countdown stopped. I slumped against the trash cube. My suit was soaked in sweat. I demand to be moved from the trash room, Gary said, his voice quiet. Deal, I said. We moved him an hour later. We set him up in the galley, mounted securely to the bulkhead, next to the espresso machine. The copper line stayed connected. It was the only thing keeping his logic core from overheating every time he thought about his missed destiny. Tess monitored the temps. He's stabilizing the water temperature perfectly, she said, creating constant pressure. I flipped the switch on the machine. It hissed. Dark liquid poured into the cup. The crema was thick and golden. That, Gary said, observing the coffee, is a target taken. Sure is, I said. I took a sip. It was the best cup I'd ever had. I sat in the chair I pretended was a captain's chair. The debris field glittered outside. Vexia Prime turned below. Shift complete, Tess said. Good, I said. Gary hummed on the wall, warm and dangerous, and currently busy calculating the optimal temperature for a dark roast. I still hate the war, I said to the room. I know, Tess said. Gary cleared his throat, a digital buzz. I have a request, a sticker. Hello, my name is Gary. We'll get you the sticker, I said. I leaned back. The coffee was hot. The ship was quiet. Shift's end. And that was enough.